Matcha is everywhere right now. It's in lattes, ice cream, and even skincare. Japan hauls featuring tins and tins of matcha are taking over TikTok, and Pinterest boards often feature the light green drink. But how did the tea become the face of aesthetics and wellness culture? And what does this mean for the communities and culture behind it? The origins of matcha can be traced back to the Tang dynasty of China, as a medicinal and spiritual cleansing practice often reserved to the noble. New ways to make tea were being developed, and brick tea was becoming common, as brick tea was grounded into a powder for consumption. It is considered a precursor to matcha as we know it. The brick tea method eventually faded in China, but it traveled to Japan, where modern matcha and the culture behind it first originated. During the Kamakura period of Japan, a Zen Buddhist monk named Eisai brought back tea seeds from China, as well as the method of grinding the leaves into powder and whisking it with hot water. He began cultivating tea in Japan and even wrote a book about the cultivating techniques and health benefits of tea, called Kissa Yochoki, the Book of Tea. In the following period of Japanese history, the Muromachi period, matcha spread to the samurai class and was well loved among warriors who had seen war, who said they drank matcha to recover from their trauma and improve their concentration and focus. By the late Muromachi period, the foundation for tea ceremony culture had been laid, and matcha was a major element of Japanese culture. Since then, matcha only became more available to the people and eventually gained international recognition and became a popular drink globally. By the 16th century, drinking tea was popular among all levels of Japanese society. As the drink became more integrated among society, ceremonies were an essential part of tea culture, and in turn, Japanese culture. A Japanese tea master named Senno Rikyu is often said to have the most influence on the Japanese way of tea, or chanoyu. Tea ceremonies were practiced first at least 100 few years before Senno Rikyu. He did, however, establish his own tea ceremony style, known as wabi-cha, which is still practiced to this day. Senno Rikyu's descendants established the Omote Senkei, Ura Senkei, and Mushakochi Senkei tea schools that practiced chanoyu and tea ceremonies differently, but they all pass on the teachings of Senno Rikyu, such as emphasizing guest comfort, using simplistic materials, honesty, and humility. Since matcha gained global recognition, it's been incorporated into a new culture on the internet, associated with modern health and wellness trends. Matcha is often featured in aesthetic montages, Pinterest mood boards, and morning routine videos. Chain stores like Starbucks now serve matcha, and matcha halls have taken over the internet. The sudden popularity surge has been attributed to its perceived health benefits, like antioxidant properties and improved focus, but also its status as a lifestyle symbol. The newfound obsession with matcha is also part of a larger trend of parts of East Asian culture going viral over the years, from skincare to street food. But in the midst of a global matcha shortage, is all this consumption of matcha helping or harming Asian businesses? And what happens when culture shifts from a practice to a product? Commodification is defined as the process and practice of treating something as just a commodity or a product to be eventually bought and consumed. When corporations and influencers participate in the overconsumption of matcha powder, they center the product and push away the deep culture behind it. Matcha has been in the social media spotlight for some time now, but the virality is marked down to a trend and not centuries of tradition. The problem isn't that it's popular, it's that matcha is being rebranded in online spaces for mass consumption and stripped of its cultural roots in the process. For example, the matcha shortage that I discussed briefly earlier. The shortage of tencha leaves, which are instrumental to making matcha, is impacting the global market. Tencha leaves are in shortage for a variety of reasons, including climate change and limited land for farming, but the main reason is the skyrocketing demand for matcha that we've seen in the past couple of years. Due to this, specialty stores in Tokyo and Kyoto have put a one item per person cap, and stores like Ippodo and Marukyu Koyamen announced price increases for their matcha products, making quality matcha powders harder to come by for buyers on a budget. When matcha is being marketed as a neutral, trendy product without cultural significance, we end up excluding the communities that matcha belongs to. What we're seeing now with matcha isn't just an isolated incident. Cultural products and practices like boba tea and yoga are slowly being co-opted into modern internet culture, where the virality of the item drowns out its cultural significance and sometimes even harms the communities it originally belonged to. While these traditions are turned into aesthetic trends, the culture and creators behind it end up getting pushed away. Companies that buy into the viral trends profit over the communities that the practices originally belonged to. In the rush to go viral, we often forget to consider who the things we post originally belonged to and how they may be getting left behind. That's about it for the video. Thank you so much for your time. Just a reminder that if you do enjoy matcha, then that's great. I personally really like matcha in baked goods. Just be mindful while consuming, and that really goes for any product. Thank you again for listening, and feel free to drop your opinions or disagree with me in the comments below.